Okay, I get asked sometimes how to make the perfect steak, so today we are going to talk about that. So steaks are really easy to cook. People just often overcook them. First, you want to start with the obvious, a really good cut of meat. I have here New York strip steaks that are locally raised and grass-fed and beautiful. First, take your steaks out of the wrapping and rinse them off with cold water, and go ahead and pat them with a paper towel to kind of get all the moisture off of them. Then liberally season them with kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper, and then let them sit at room temperature for 20 minutes. I know it sounds strange, but it's totally worth it. Meanwhile, grab your cast iron skillet and put it on the stove and crank that heat up. You want your skillet to get really hot before adding any fat to it. Once it's really hot, go ahead and take some extra virgin olive oil and add it to the skillet. And then take your meat that has been sitting out and lay it in the pan. Now, once you lay it down, you really don't want to fiddle with that meat. You want that meat to set and sear and form a really good brown crust on its side. Now, if you have to scoot something over, you can do that, but don't fiddle with it and press it and move it around. Just leave it for about a minute. Now, these steaks are about an inch thick, so I'm giving them about a minute on each side to cook. It's really, really fast. So flip them over and let them sear on the other side. Now, if you need to add oil, go for it. I do have a smashed garlic clove that I'm adding to the pan here. I want a slight garlic flavor on my steaks, but I don't want it overwhelming, so I'm not chopping the garlic up. I just smashed the clove and laid it in. You can add any herb you want. I put in some fresh dill because it's what I have, but rosemary or thyme are fantastic. Meanwhile, I let that steak cook for another minute on the other side, and now I am propping the steaks up to let a sear form on the edges of each steak. Now, I only have one hand to work with here, so I am struggling a little bit, but go ahead and spread that garlic around and let that sear form, and then go ahead and take some butter. I have unsalted butter here, 4 tablespoons, that I am letting melt in the pan. That butter flavor is going to get into the steaks along with that dill and garlic and make a really great, easy, simple sauce. Go ahead and turn your steak so that they sear on the other side, and also they'll absorb a little bit of that butter flavor at the same time. And then I'm left with beautiful steaks. These are medium to medium rare. I'm going to cover this pan with foil and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then they are ready to serve. They're perfectly cooked and they're beautiful. Now, I did decide to add a little topping to our steaks. I thought a mushroom topping might be great, so I grabbed a mixture of mushrooms. I have shiitake and oyster and baby bellas that I thinly sliced, and then I mixed them with just a little bit of olive oil and kosher salt and black pepper and threw them on a sheet pan with parchment paper. Now, these are going to go into an oven, 400 degrees, for about 10 to 12 minutes, and they're going to be this beautiful, brown, crispy mixture of mushrooms to put on top of the steaks, and they are just to die for. Even if you're not a mushroom person, you might like them. So steaks are really easy. You just need to start with dry steaks, let them sit at room temperature, and use a cast iron skillet.